What's up, everybody? This is Phil Rogacki.
And I'm Jared Abergina.
You're listening to Two Tree Guys Podcast. What's up, everybody? This is Phil Rogacki. Not joined today with me is Jared Abergina, but he's out there somewhere representing. But hey, welcome to the show, Two Tree Guys. If this is your first time ever tuning in and hearing the show, let me tell you a little bit about it. Two good friends got together, wanted to talk about tree work and have some awesome individuals that come into the studio and get to hear their story. And we have different segments in Two Tree Guys. We have our What's Your Story, where we travel around to different trade shows and talk about different individual stories of climbers, equipment operators, people that are in our industry and hearing their story. And then two, we have our marketing and sales part of our show called Mic Drop that you guys can tune in and listen to. And then we have our full episode, which is this today, where they come into the studio. Normally it's surrounded by a bunch of ice cold beers, but since it's middle of the day, I would, if we started drinking right now on a Monday, I would think we have some problems. So we're not drinking today, but in the future, we'll make sure we catch a beer with these guys. But the show doesn't cost anything, guys, to listen to it. You don't have a bunch of these boring ass commercials that you have to listen to that we force you so we can make some money at it. But what we do ask you is, if you like the show, you loved it, share it with somebody. Share it today, put it on your page, tell people to tune in. The more viewers and more people we get watching us, encourages us to do more for the show. So I appreciate everybody taking the time and listening in. But we got two gentlemen here with us today. We got Clogger Pete and Phil Rogers from Clogger. Welcome, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is this your guys' first time on a podcast?
Yes, I'm terrified.
Yes, it is.
I was wondering why you keep moving back and forth.
Yeah, I was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
No one's going to pop out of a cake or come through the curtains. This is just a few tree guys getting together and talking about the industry, hearing your guys' story, because we see your guys' faces at every single trade show and see you online. You guys, representing Clogger and building an awesome product out there. But you guys are here, Santa Rosa, California. We get to hear your story. We get to hear about your company. And I know Clogger Pete's excited to talk about the industry and the ups and downs and goods and bads. And I'm sure there's some things you're holding back here that you're willing to tell the entire world.
Oh, yeah.
Because the things you say today is forever. They never disappear.
Bring it on.
I've learned that the first few episodes for that. So let's jump right into this. Tell us about you guys and talk about a little bit about your company. Who wants to go first?
No, you kick off, Phil.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm Phil. Phil Rogers. I'm Director of Sales and Marketing for Clogger. So Clogger is a New Zealand company based at the bottom of New Zealand. Some would say the bottom of the world, or the end of the world, it's been called. Mick Jagger called it something not very pleasant, I think. When he went there, he wasn't that impressed. It was starts with A anyway. But
wait, what is it? What an A?
A hole.
Yeah.
I think
a what?
There's
an asshole.
Yeah, I don't want to say that. Yeah,
you can say whatever you want.
Okay,
on
I
the
don't
show.
want. It'll get beeped out later on.
There's no beeping. It's just whatever you guys say, it sticks.
Yeah.
So the asshole of the world.
Yeah,
okay?
that's why he was a bit angry. I think I know something about the bars closing at 6 or something. But
okay, that's not right.
Yeah, but actually a real beautiful city actually. Down at the and it's scenic and just across from Rakiura, which is Stewart Island, which is a amazing island off the bottom of New Zealand with I think something like 400 residents, but a massive park and not far from Queenstown and the Catlins, which is another gorgeous coastal area. So really, really nice part of the world. We just moved into a new factory, so we're all in one building now, and so we're ready to ramp things up. The company, I think, was founded 94 by Lincoln Smith, and what he's basically all about improvement, constant improvement. The whole company is. So he figured out chainsaw protection and then wanted to make it better and better and better, and because it does make a big difference to people's lives. If you're hot and it's hot and humid and you're having a tough day at work due to that, or even heat illness, so even sickness coming out of it, that's not good. And it doesn't just impact your work day, but also impacts your family and the way you can interact with people. So yeah, we're all about trying to improve. So if things aren't working for you with our products, then tell us. We make everything ourselves in New Zealand, so if we need to change something, we can do it within hours.
Good.
Sometimes.
Good.
I won't overstate what R&D people can do, but pretty quick. Anyway,
Nice.
So that's what we're all about. I think our Zeros are probably our most famous product, but Zero pants and the chaps, and but we do a range of try to cover every extreme, make life better. So.
Gotcha. And I heard you're not even a New Zealander; you're a Rhode Islander.
Oh, no, actually, I'm from New Zealand, but lived 18 years in Rhode Island, yes.
Okay.
So I've got a pretty good handle on how at least Rhode Island works, which may be different from the rest of America.
See, that's what my buddy Bill Burley just said that.
Yeah.
He said he's not a New Zealander, he's a Rhode Islander.
Yeah,
What is he talking about?
I moved around a bit. I went to Australia for a couple of years, ran away from there because there's a lot of Australians in Australia. I discovered pretty early on. And then, went to the States. My wife's from the States.
So what is New Zealand, Australia? Do they battle?
It's like America and Canada.
No, it's worse. It's way
It's
worse.
Really?
We love to hate each other.
Okay.
Yes,
But,
Australians are pretty annoying. Actually, they're one of the biggest markets. So actually, I'll take that back. Australians are great. We love those guys. They're great at sport and look really good dudes. And Pete's married to one too. So.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm here to stick up for Australia because or else my wife's going to kill me. We love them. They're really good at coming second at pretty much everything.
Yeah. Actually, my daughter's from Australia too, so I got to be careful as well. So,
Shout out to the Aussies.
Yeah. You rock.
my
Let's delete that last section that went off the rails. So,
Now, tell me a little bit about yourself, Pete.
Okay, so I joined...
And hold the mic a little closer.
Sorry. I joined Clogger at the very start of 2019, and
So you're kind of new to Clogger.
yeah. It's a really badly kept secret that I'm not actually a tree person. This is my coming out show.
This is it. You're
Right.
not a tree person.
Okay, so for 15 years prior to that, I worked in the scaffolding industry for the same company, and I did every role there is to do, from spending the bulk of my time on the tools, running teams, to being in the office, doing quoting. I was the operations manager for about a year and a bit. I was a sales manager for a while, and each time I managed to fight my way back out of the office into running a team, because offices, they're horrible places.
They're the worst.
Yeah, office politics.
You don't get
just-
anything done in there.
No, it's not good. I'm far more comfortable out in the field, teaching people how to think. To me, that's the ultimate in job satisfaction.
So you, for scaffolding, with the same company?
I was there 15 years for the same company.
And so Clogger owns a scaffolding company?
No,
Oh, wait.
no, this is prior to Clogger.
Oh, prior. I thought
Yeah.
you were like, I work for a scaffolding company. It's the same company as
No.
Clogger. I'm
No,
like,
no.
I'm like, Clogger's in the scaffolding business? Okay.
No, thankfully not. Thankfully not. But I kind of grew up with the founders, with the sons of the founder of Clogger, and then they were about to. I heard through the grapevine they were about to advertise for a salesman, and I kind of stuck up my hand and said, "Hey, save your advertising costs. I'm coming aboard, like it or not." And then the rest is history. And so I came aboard knowing more or less nothing about sales.
Now, why'd you want to come work for this company?
Because I've known them forever. They're an incredibly ethical family, and I'd got some of their early prototypes of the spider climbing pants that I used when I was scaffolding, and loved them, and just always really admired the way they went about things, their creativity, and just the whole ethos, which is largely based around always doing the right thing.
Gotcha.
That's not exactly a common thing to find, especially when it's more than just a corporate buzzword. So I joined at the start of 2019 and had never done retail sales before like that, as in selling to resellers. I'd done obviously a lot of quoting, much like your common or garden tree person. And so I spent about the first year traveling around, going around all the resellers, as most salespeople do. I did a bit of a stint in Australia doing a series of SRT events with Vermeer,
Okay.
and that was my first exposure to tree people on the ground. And so I was kicking around then with a bunch of the people running the course were national and world champs of various shapes and sizes. And from that, I got a bit of a delusion as to what the industry was like. I assumed everyone was like them.
Yeah.
Like it's like doing a tour with Jared.
Yeah.
And you just assume everyone else is like Jared. And then I wasn't even on Facebook at that stage, right? So then I was doing my thing. I was tripping around the place and more or less sticking with going to see resellers. And then COVID hit and I could no longer travel. And so, I didn't know what to do. I was working from home. And so Clogger Pete was born on Facebook.
So how'd Clogger Pete get born?
Well, I sort of figured, I don't know. It's one way to. This was my first Facebook account.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's one way to people to easily identify me. I'm more than just a name. I'm attached to the brand. So if they need to know something, I'm relatively easy to find.
Yeah.
And it was shortly after that I joined a couple of groups and discovered there was let's call it a Great Unwashed that operated at a slightly different level to what I'd thought was normal, which to me was very interesting. And then from there I really started digging in and discovering that there was far, far more to the industry that I needed to learn. And so as a result, that's really, really interested me, and the differences of how things work, different parts of the world, different parts of the country, you know, and the different safety standards in the different areas, like not so much standards, but how things are done.
Did you figure it all out?
No, I'm still figuring it all out. A lot of the times you scratch your head and what the heck are they doing? And then you talk to them as to, why. I always ask why. And, there's normally a reason behind why a certain region does things a certain way, tree types or whatever. Yeah. Whether that be correct or not, there's another story, but who am I to judge? So I now spend a fair chunk of my time more or less connecting with people and trying to improve the industry through help connect people.
Gotcha.
Because my personal theory, one of my personal theories, of which I have quite a few, is that a rising tide lifts all boats, right? Mm-hmm. So if we can improve the industry as a whole, people will want to be safer and have better protection, which, as a side result of improving the industry, we will sell more pants, which is a hang of a lot more fun and better for everyone than me just trying to shove pants down their throats.
Yeah.
So that's more or less what I do.
Okay. And you guys just got back from Treetopia. You guys had a booth out there representing. Mm-hmm. Now how did that go out there at Treetopia? What was your kind of feel, impact? What did you learn out there? The people out there, because you had people, especially in California, and some people from all over the country coming to this. What was kind of the vibe and the feel that you guys gathered?
Oh, I was actually pretty. Oh, sorry, I was pretty impressed by. There's a lot of Clogger gear there. That's for sure.
Did you think it was going to be less?
Yeah, I guess sitting down in New Zealand, you sort of think it seems like we're a small company trying to make a difference, and but then you get up here and you realize, wow, these guys have all.
They're all wearing it. Yeah. And when you say small company, what's the size of Clogger?
I think it's 70 employees, maybe.
70 employees.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. That's include. That's our. it's a manufacturing company, so that's
gotcha.
Mostly people making the gear.
Gotcha. So. 70 employees. Started in 1994. Is the gentleman that started still around?
Oh yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much. What was his name?
Lincoln.
Yeah.
Last name?
Smith.
Lincoln Smith. Yeah. Now, does he ever come out here ever?
Yes, not recently because of
He has been out multiple times. He is. I think it wouldn't be unfair to say he possibly knows more about chainsaw protection than anyone else on the planet.
Now, where'd he get that knowledge from?
He built it himself.
So when you say built it himself, so before him there was no chainsaw protection.
No, but he's we've got a huge number of world firsts in our company. That
Like what?
As in,
Well, we did the first like fully FR arc rated chainsaw protection. Well, what Lincoln does is find a problem and solve it. So in normal chainsaw protection, in an arc flash catches fire and melts onto you.
Yeah.
So other companies were selling FR fabric on the outside, but having the same fabric on the inside, which really didn't make much difference. So he morally couldn't go, I can't keep doing this. So he thought it's got to be, well, let's create a chainsaw fabric. It's that's fully FR and completely will never melt. Or will at a certain temperature, but nothing, not with an arc flash, and do it properly. So that basically we developed the first fully FR. The arc makes the right line, so that's one of them. But I mean, I think what he did with the Zeros was the Australians were really struggling with the heat, and so they basically went, okay, let's get a blank sheet and start from the beginning. And okay, so pretty much every part of at some level, every part of the Zeros actually new. So the outer was a new kind of outer, had never been done before. The design was different. The chainsaw fabric itself, we created a new kind of chainsaw fabric that was this lighter and more flexible. And
so is that him by himself in his laboratory, or does he get a team together? I mean, how does this work with developing a new pair of pants like this?
We've got an R&D team of three.
Okay. So they get together and they just start sketching, trying to figure this stuff out.
Well, we do work with mills around the world that basically they create new fabric. So basically it goes through a process. Okay, well, we'll try this and this and this. These are the kind of characteristics we want. And then once we get a sample, then we have to put it in the field, test it, and that it works. Usually some changes, and so it goes through a cycle of pretty quick innovation to get to a point that it's performing better than anything else we've got, and then that's when we go and put it on the product. So the new Defender Pros, that outer has been in trials for about 18 months, and it's been going through a whole lot of testing and different versions. And
when does that come out? Are they out?
Oh, they just came out.
They just came out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So the goal of that one was make them as tough as we can, but still light and breathable, stretchy. So that was the goal of that.
So what's the difference between the Zeros and the Defenders?
The Zeros are climbing pants primarily, and they're designed to be pretty much the Lamborghini of pants, the lightest possible. So, but if you're I was using the example, if you're more of a bear climber than a butterfly climber, you might want to look at the Defender Pros because they're super tough. They'll last. They're about the same weight, super stretchy, and everything.
They've got the same fence.
Yeah. But basically that would be better, and especially on the ground if you're in really tough terrain, like Blackberry and things like that. So,
gotcha.
So it's just different. And so that's generation 2 of that. So there'll be a generation 3, 4, 5. We'll just keep working on it and making them better and better. And so there's constantly we've got a whole list of different areas we're working on. I think there's a vent in a certain area that would relieve swamp ass, I think is the term. That's an area that's of high importance and getting a lot of focus, which is a very weird place to focus. But
don't wink at me, Pete. Pete just winked at me. It was super awkward. I don't know why he did that.
I thought that was off camera.
So then, now let me ask you, the new Arborwear pants that came out, that are supposedly the lightest in the industry from there. Now, were your guys' the lightest in the industry before that?
Probably.
I believe so.
I'm not sure. There might have been other ones.
And is the lightest the goal of who can have the lightest pair of pants out there?
No.
What are some of the aspects you're looking at? Because I mean, that's the biggest selling point. It's the lightest out there. It's light. It's lighter than anything. So when looking at comparing different chainsaw pants, what are some of the different things you're looking at that kind of sets people apart or sets brands apart? Is it the lightest? Is it the most durable? Is it the cheapest? You know.
Well, I mean, that's really good marketing. I mean, obviously targeting one thing and making it super clear about what it's about, that's good. But I think with the Zeros, it's about being the coolest, which doesn't necessarily mean the lightest, because what you're trying to do, there's a whole lot of factors go into making something cool. It's the way the vents work. It's the way the fabric breathes. It's also about and what's in the fabric. Is it wicking heat away? And it's also about how easy it is actually to work in, because a lot of heat comes from actually the exertion. If you're fighting your gear, you're going to be a lot hotter than if it's like wearing some yoga pants, which is what people say. So
what kind of testing is done with that to know that these ones are a cooler fabric in that than compared to this brand that's out there? Is there any kind of testing that's done between the different brands of measuring that?
Well, there's no. I mean, I guess you could get technical, but we just sort of go on feedback, and basically, if people say this is these are the coolest pants they've ever worn, and what I generally hear is people go into the wardrobe and they got, like, if they have 5 different pairs, they keep trying to wear one of the other pairs, but they just keep going back to the zeros because it's the best experience, and not that we've stopped where we are. I mean, we will make them cooler, but what's it's about, so, at the end of the day, have you got more energy? Have you expended less? And can you go home and play with the kids because you've still got that energy left after a hot day at work? So that's what it's really about. So yeah,
and that that kind of stuff interests me because I want to see data. I'm like, for myself, I want to go, why is that? Is it just because they like that better, or is it the colors that just make them feel better when they're looking through their wardrobe or their closet? Or is it actually the mechanics of it and the fabric of it, and what's the degrees? If I had to heat up 2 pair of pants, which one's going to release the amount of heat more, or which one's going to breathe more, and things like that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a lot to do with how it's. People just know. I don't know. I mean, we could put sensors on, but a lot of it's like, how does the ventilation work? Do you actually get cooling from the vents? Do your legs actually feel the breeze? Do they work when in the tree? And something about the zeros, and I'm not sure exactly what the magic. Sometimes things come together in a package that that you don't know quite what the elements all together come together. What causes it?
We got some interesting feedback over during Treetopia that I hadn't thought of before, is that a lot of the European pants have a really skinny leg. The zeros have a bit more of a relaxed leg diameter, for lack of a better word, and that actually helps a lot with the airflow. Just a bit more room for air to circulate round.
Gotcha.
And also inside the zero fabric, there's a fibre called Nillet Breeze, which actually literally drags heat away from your body.
And how does it do that?
Ooh, now you have to get Lincoln in for that one.
Yeah, Lincoln, where are you, man? I'm sure he's on our page right now watching. Come on, Lincoln. No, what the heck?
Okay, Lincoln. No.
No, it's an Israeli company, and by all accounts from the testing they've done, I mean they've got a website, you can check it out on there. But if you wear a full suit of that, it will drop your body temperature by a whole degree.
Celsius, so a couple of degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. So
okay.
Athletes wear it, so we do look at all those sort of. That's that kind of innovation. We do go to all the biggest trade shows around fabrics, innovation around fabrics, and I mean Lincoln and Eddie just went over to Europe to get a whole lot of new ideas. So we're trying to bring the latest technologies into it.
Nice.
But I'm not sure there's we don't have we probably should. Actually do wire some people up and
I'd love to see that. I'm sure the industry would love to see that. And I bet you just that data alone compared to all the different pants out of there to say, rather than just individuals saying, they like it and it's cool, but it's like, no, this is real data that's showing this is cool and this fabric does do this and this, these vents in this spot are the reason why is because X, Y, and Z. Because one of the things I was talking, and this isn't a comparison against Arborwear, but they were just out here and they were showing their pants, and I have a pair in the trunk. And one of the things they said was, well, on the cloggers, you have the vents right there, and when you put your harness on, it covers them up because you're wearing it. So then it doesn't breathe and it closes them off when they put their vents behind their knees on there. And let me tell you, I'm the guy that doesn't wear chaps every day. So, I don't wear chaps because I'm not out in the field doing the work. Not that I choose not to. Let's make that clear. But, listen to that, and I'm just like, okay. And I was excited you guys coming on the show because I wanted to hear from you guys of going, is that a problem? Does the saddle cover up the vents? Why did they put theirs behind their knees and stuff like that? Because those kind of things interest me of going, why'd they design it that way? Why'd you guys design it that way? Why'd they use that fabric? How did they get theirs lighter than that, comparing the products?
Well, so when we started off with, I don't know anything about the dogwood, so I'm not in a position to compare or bag their product, which I don't do anyway. But when we started off with the Gen 1 Zero, which your man's still wearing a pair today. And
5 years in, pretty impressive.
Who's that?
Oh, I forgot.
Do you remember his name?
George?
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think George, he was at True Top.
Yeah, we were talking about.
Yeah, that's the one. So his pants were still looking absolutely mint, but the reality is that the Generation 1.0, it was
Too light.
it was too light. Okay, so it was probably a couple of ounces lighter than the current one. It would have been around the 2 pound mark, and the current one's a 2.2, and so with the Generation 2, which happened not that long afterwards, we obviously beefed up the fabric quite a bit, but going with a too lighter outer fabric results in you fart wrong and you can get a hole on it. not quite, but it's done a huge amount of damage to people's thinking of how our products perform. And we're still sort of recovering from that now. There's still
We're still apologising.
we're still apologising
From the Gen 1.
Well, I mean, some people still love them because they were super cool because they were super light. But then people who everyone's got different expectations, and so durability. They
want it to last. They're not cheap.
No,
and for a climber to be able to purchase one of these, in our industry, I mean, it's an investment. They want it to last for a long time. And as soon as they start ripping and breaking, and they're just like,
so that's why we did the Defender Pros. So because the problem is, people who are mainly working on the ground are buying zeros, and it's like, well, they're not really designed for that. So it's all trade-offs between flexibility, stretch. I mean, the zero is 140% stretch. That means you can move really easy, which is really important if you're climbing, but maybe not as important if you're just mainly working on the ground. So that's the thing. But going back to the vents, I mean, we sort of hear that our vents are perfect and just below the saddle, so I don't know whether. And Lincoln, obviously, we look at everything. So we put them on the side of the leg deliberately because we think that's where the best airflow is, because behind the leg is behind the leg, And
but
also
now to get rid of swamp ass, you're going to put it right up the crack.
Well, it's also can't be too graphic from below as well. So it's that's another trade-off situation that you got to work on. So
got it.
Yeah, no, we got actually the Japanese have a cool one. They actually have a fan built in, battery fan,
really
on both legs. Yeah,
man.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot
Tree
of fun.
guys break everything.
That's not going to last long at all.
Yeah. So basically, well, I mean, but. We do try to use a scientific method, and we do try to we put things in the field and we try different versions. And the way that that vent performs with the design of the leg, maybe if you had a tight leg, it'd be useless. But the way it is, it seems to work pretty well. And if you talk to most zero users, they say they get some good airflow. Not that we can't get better. We're always going to get better. We're not making everything overseas. It's not coming in a container. So what we can do is within, and you say, hey, I got an idea. Well, actually, this was one example. Guy said to me, rather than the boot hook, why don't you put a elastic loop around the foot, and then when you just put your boot on, it'll stay down there and be good. And it sounds like a genius idea to me.
Yeah.
So we can put a prototype together and have that probably out in a couple of weeks potentially, and have it in the field and see if that actually works. And so that's the sort of thing, as a manufacturer, as someone who, we don't make stuff in China, we don't get container loads of stuff that we're stuck with for the next year. We can change things. If we have a problem, we fix it. So, and it's all about, and more importantly, we can continuously improve. And that's really what we're trying to do. Like the new boot hook was an evolution on the previous one. The previous one poked up, caught throw lines and stuff. So Lincoln came up with built a new hook to go the other way, but still stay on the lace. So
individuals that have ideas about Clogger, how to improve it, who would they message to be like, hey, I got an idea?
Yeah,
Clogger Pete.
Me, sir, me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm currently in 85 different tree groups on Facebook.
Okay.
It's in the feedback we get off that is absolutely invaluable.
Gotcha.
And we use it. I mean, I spotted this thing where someone was saying, we've been cutting a slit in the bottom of the hem to let sawdust out that somehow gets in there. Because some climbers, you'll see they'll get some holes in the top and the pants is more or less fill up with sawdust, right? And then they end up with this big bulge around the bottom, which is a pain in the neck when you're trying to put spurs on and all the rest of it. So I chucked that at the R&D crew and they busted their behinds, and now all of our pants have a little gap in the hem at the bottom for emptying sawdust out of.
Nice.
And we didn't actually tell anyone about that because it was a thing that we just phased out between the models. Just as stock went out, the new ones came in and had the thing. But
did you get a lot of feedback on that where they noticed it?
I think we'd almost forgotten about it and haven't got around to telling anyone yet.
Yeah,
Well, there it is. It's
so
out,
there you
guys.
go. This is breaking news.
Breaking
Straight off.
news.
Yeah.
But-
you can do the announcement.
I mean, we do stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, because, if we manufactured offshore, this is the whole conversation that America's having about offshore versus onshore manufacturing, right? At the moment, a lot of stuff's being brought back onshore, which is, they're going to have some fun with that. Mm-hmm. Manufacturing is really hard. But the advantages are we don't have to carry, we've probably got in stock a max of 30 pairs of any one type and size. But they're continuously coming off the production line. And I don't know if you've ever heard of lean manufacturing before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are fairly well down the road on that, and we're more or less at doing one-piece flow, which is extremely unusual for a garment manufacturing company.
So you guys will put one product through, and that's it.
Well, so there's basically the idea with one-piece flow is that you have the product flows from station to station to station. You're not building 10 at the station, then once you finish the 10, it moves to the next station.
Gotcha.
The exception is we've got a digital cut, well, 2 digital cutters, and to get efficiencies on the actual cut, you have to do a minimum of 10 sort of to fit them in the fabric. So basically it's a big wide roll and there's this suction thing and digital, it's all CAD sort of driven.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, there's a lot of technology in the way that works, but yeah, no, it's about minimum.
So if it starts today, it's done at the end of the day. Your product.
Well before that.
Yeah.
So the actual time that a pair of zeros is worked on is,
Yeah. How long does it take to make one?
I think we do still have a little bit of, like they might have one pair in between stations just as a buffer, but I think is it 35 minutes?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I probably should know that. Lincoln?
Lincoln. Damn it, Lincoln. Where are you?
Yeah, I know. We made a big mistake. I'll bring Lincoln.
We're gonna bring him back on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get all the real answers.
Yeah,
then,
I'm gonna be asking tons of questions.
But see, most pretty much any clothing manufacturer that you go into, they will have like a stack that big in between each station. We've got one piece of product in between each station.
So they focus on that one piece, and then it moves on to the next person.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so any mistakes get picked up super fast.
Yeah.
You're not having to pick it. If something gets cut wrong or whatever, you're not having to redo thousands of items. It's just one.
Nice.
Yeah.
And because we have to do that because we're a ridiculously expensive country to manufacture in. Worse than California.
I don't know about that.
We do dream of one day manufacturing in the US. That is, as it is on the dream list. So,
yeah. When is the goal of that?
Hopefully 3 to 4 years. It's just a volume thing.
Where are you guys gonna start it? You think, or where have you guys talked about?
This is still getting a little ahead of the game, but Tennessee was one spot that we're looking at. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Just so everyone knows, New Zealand, if you're a full-time employee, you get a minimum of 4 weeks paid annual leave and 2 weeks paid sick leave.
Don't be saying that.
And they need tree workers in New Zealand.
Yeah, what are you doing?
No. We need tree workers in New Zealand. And we also have a bunch of statutory holidays, like government holidays. I think there's 10.
Yeah.
And if you work over them, it's double time.
Yeah, minimum wage is $22.
We need tree workers in New Zealand.
No. Yeah. But getting back to the arborists and what they, definitely we listen and we love people, especially people who really think about it. I mean, I met some people say, can you do this? Other people go, they talk to you for half an hour and go break the pants down bit by bit about all the bits you can improve, and it's always genius. And we love it because we can actually do something about it. And we can, and obviously we need a few people to say it. We need to test it. We're going to make sure it works. The more ideas we can get, the more we can deliver a better experience for everyone here.
That's good.
So there's a chat on the website. You can go there. Pete's obviously, if he's not overwhelmed with people telling him new things to do, he can do it too. So there's
some people on here have your cell number. They said they're just going to text you the new ideas.
Yeah. Well, and new products too. I mean, if there's products that and that's to the big companies, everyone. Like safety committees are saying, we got this issue, we got to try to solve. Tell us the problem. If there's a risk that they're trying to manage, we'll work on anything. If it's a good enough idea, we do things and they don't always work in terms of the market work, but we will make them work in terms of use in the field and all those sort of things. So, we love that stuff. That's our advantage really, because we're not getting stuff from overseas in a container loads, and we don't even see the manufacturing side. So.
And the other cool thing is that the person who gives us the idea, if they're willing to stick at it with us, we will involve them in the testing of the product. So they get free pans.
That's a good trade-off.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I mean, we respect the fact that they've put the effort and the thought into coming up,
especially
with
when it's their idea.
Yeah,
100%, something like that. 100%. It's like we had VSG in here and talking about to Trip and Tom from Cheryl, and man, they're open. Like, send us your ideas, send us your thoughts. The R&D team gets together and they'll start working on these products if it makes sense to them, and then next thing you know, within about a year's time, your product that you brought to the market is out there. And it's a little bit different than pants, but if it's a brand new product like that, they pay them royalties until that product stops selling. And he said we've paid plenty of guys out there lots and lots of money based on their products coming. So if somebody can, I guess, come up with a brand new pair of chainsaw pants, maybe you guys can pay them some royalties.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
or something game changer.
But I think that's a big change. That's a big project. But the incremental improvements.
Yeah.
That's if you're talking about
tweak.
There's all those little tweaks, and we've had the zeros in the market over 5 years now. We've been tweaking that the whole time. I don't know how many different zips have been through those things. There's all kinds of secret sauce we can't tell you about because we'd have to kill you after. But there's all kinds of things that we've done it's just the fabric's always being looked at. Everything's being looked at. We love.
So how often do you guys keep redesigning them? Like in the sense of, is it a monthly thing where you guys just sit down and go, okay, let's go through them again?
Yeah. Well,
is there something better? Or does someone go, hey, we found a better zipper that's manufactured here that upholds, 2 months longer than our zippers that are holding up now?
Yeah. But on zippers, I just want to say, zip up your pants before you wash them, because what happens is sawdust gets washed into the back of the zipper, and then you say, oh, this is stuck, and you jam it, and you either break the slider or break the thing. So zippers are strong, but you can't. They don't beat physical force.
And that wood chip starts swelling in the water.
Yeah, exactly. And we actually have got a zip maintenance video on our website, on the YouTube channel to take a look at. So, but anyway, that's a zip.
No, that's
they got me on a hot button there.
You guys, if everybody's listening, zip up your pants before you wash.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other tip is, weirdly, lubricate the teeth with a graphite with a pencil lid.
Wait, say that again?
So just run a pencil up and down the teeth on the zipper.
If they start getting sticky,
Oh, okay.
Because it's graphite which lubricates it.
And won't gum up. Yeah.
I didn't know.
Sorry, I think I took it off. I got on the zipper.
No, that was good. That was good. What are some of the next things coming out here for Clogger, or what you can talk about that the industry can look forward to?
Well, actually, going back, I think that before I got on the zip issue, what we do is we make small improvements all the time, and then we do a gen, and that sort of groups all those improvements, and we explain them all to the market. But some of them have been there for a while, so that's just to give you a bit more background. But there is a Gen 3.0 in the works, and so that'll be next year sometime. So I'm not sure. I'm not going to.
Is this going to be kind of an every year thing that you're going to try to come out with? Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 7?
Not every year, but probably every couple of years. I mean, the formula seems pretty good right now, so it's a little, you got to be a little careful not to come up with a Gen 3, like, new Coke or something.
Yeah.
So we got to be careful. So, we'll be doing a lot of testing before we put anything. But one of the things like we do is we got Dyneema on the back leg, so when your chainsaw hangs down, the fabric doesn't pick as much. There's all those sort of things we've added, so we'll probably do more of that kind of thing, and we're looking at some really interesting ceramics interesting things to work on there. So I think that'll be a big one. But we're sort of at a point, I guess, we want to fix the next big problem too. So we've been playing with jackets for a while, but we're not sure the problem to solve there.
Jackets are a really tough one. Everyone you talk to from different areas has a different idea of what they want out of a jacket.
So what kind of different products do you guys carry?
Oh, okay. Well, surprisingly, we actually do snake gaiters, which you may not be aware of.
What are snake gaiters?
They stop snakes biting it. Well,
Oh.
yeah. You see, you wear them around your ankle, around your calves, and the Aussies are pretty big on them because they got some crazy snakes in Australia. But we did test them with the rattlesnakes over here, so that's one a little sideline we do.
Oh, sure.
We do arm protectors.
Okay.
We've just done base layers because we noticed a lot of our customers in the winter want to wear zeros year round, so we thought we should make a snazzy merino base layer to make it a bit
To go underneath.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we've just done that. So that's sort of starting open door and other things we might be able to do on upper body.
Is there any new products that you guys are going to kind of bring in, like the snake gaiters and things similar to that?
Well, we do have line
Well,
trimmer.
you got shirts you're looking for.
Yeah.
You make T-shirts, right?
No, we
Oh
don't,
no, we make them. No.
we don't make them.
We
yet.
did designer ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
But well, look, I mean, there are things, but I probably can't spill the beans. But
You,
But,
you
yeah.
could spill a little, one bean,
uh,
maybe a little
what's
bit.
bean?
Just
What a bean.
Dial it down.
Okay.
It down.
That's too loud.
I'll
Yeah.
have to- I'll
I mean,
have to
well,
tell you.
look, I'll put it that way. We are trying to look at the upper body and see what we can do there and see if there's useful things we can do there. There is a top secret product that's launching around November
Okay.
that will hopefully make the Clogger experience even more affordable. I'll put it that way. So people actually, one thing, since we've got the microphone, literally,
Yeah.
our chaps are the lightest, coolest, safest chaps in the world. They're a bit more expensive, but I just wanted, that's a secret. I see so many people in the States being tortured with these huge, heavy chaps that have floppy material that isn't even attached, that doesn't even do anything for you, that they don't even want to wear because they're so horrible. So, I mean, everyone knows about the Zero pants, but there's a whole lot more chap wearers, I would think, in the US.
There's a lot.
And there's a revolution that's already here that no one really knows about. So I'm going to probably, and then if anyone's online and wants to chime in if they've got Zero chaps, see what the reviews are pretty outstanding. I mean, they're probably our most popular product in terms of customer satisfaction.
Here in the U.S.?
Oh yeah, people go, I mean, I don't even know I'm wearing them. It's because it's like almost like wearing pants, and they are way safer because they got more chainsaw fabric coverage. They have 5 straps, which sounds annoying, but
Yeah.
means that they actually attach properly, so you can actually move really easy. And there's less snagging hazard. So there's a whole lot. That was one. That would be the one thing that I would think is Clogger's secret that no one really knows about because. They just and there's another Lincoln masterpiece.
What do you mean they don't know about it? If it's the number one product here, I mean, a lot of people know about it.
No, most popular. I mean, when people buy it, they love it.
In terms of that's the product we've got the best customer reviews on.
Yeah.
Even better than the Zero pants. It is a truly outstanding piece of kit. Your chaps here intrigue me. Like you have those ones like they come like halfway down your shin. Like what is that supposed to do?
And then you got the dangly bit, yeah.
The UL standard doesn't really stipulate the coverage area that much, and then so your strap is halfway down your calf, right? And then you have this big flappy bit. What does that bit do?
Yeah.
I don't know, but everyone seems to wear them. I'm assuming they're cheap. But basically, everything below the bottom strap does nothing. It's more or less just to keep sawdust out. It's not going to stop a saw.
Well, they look good if you're doing the samba. I think if you got, I think that flappy bit flops around nicely. I know. I think I would imagine anyway.
What's the goal? How to get this out more in the market or let people know? Because you said it's a little kind of a secret, but also the most popular.
Yeah. Well, what we're trying to do is especially with trainers. Hopefully, we probably should get you a bunch too. So when people are actually training, then they just try them on and they realize. Because I mean, they are more expensive. But the point, if
we use that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, because these guys most of them don't have chainsaw pants on, so we always have the chaps for them to put on back and forth.
Yeah. So we do that. We've got it with you guys, I guess. But what happened? But if you look at it, you're going to have them 2 years. I mean, I know employers buy them a lot of the time. They'll get the lowest price they can and all that. but it's a totally different lifestyle. It's a bit like the zero pants. I mean, you get to go home in a different state. It's a different world, you know, and even it's easier to work in. So you're more productive. It's just like a totally. We got a peer rep or maybe we could do it in person. Phil trying on zero chaps for the first time and falling in love.
I will try them on. Yeah. I won't have much to compare against. But I'll try them on.
Yeah, no, we probably. Yeah.
Okay, so here's another funny thing. Most of the chaps over here, so that the protection stops at the crotch, but then for some reason they join the pants together at the front, so they have like a crotch, right?
Which doesn't protected.
Some of them even have a fly. Mm-hmm. Ours are split right up to the belt.
Okay.
So which gives them huge amount more freedom of movement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not constrained by this stupid canvas thing.
And there's no protection in front of your...
But there isn't with the other ones either.
There is protection to the top of your waist.
Why didn't you want to protect every guy's... Movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you want that, you're going to have to get pants.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Got a degree for that one. But no, otherwise you can't really move them because you got this weird sort of crutch cover thing.
Okay.
I guess unprotected.
We could put it on as a project to see what kind of.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, if there's anything I'm protecting from my waist down, it's that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is once I always wonder why the US standard stops just at the top of the thighs as well. It's a little. I always wondered about
from
that.
the chainsaw protection coverage point of things. Legally, it doesn't have to go beyond the bottom of the crotch.
Gotcha.
So,
but we go crazy. We go all the way up.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean,
sorry, I got on zeros. Yeah, well, I guess the other things maybe people don't know about was we do the ARC rated outside the US. The ARC rated, the ARC Max are they're stretch FR with a full EFR chainsaw fabric in them. They're New Zealand, Australia, and Canada. They're a pretty big item because they actually will not catch on fire in an arc event, which is the kind of point of wearing them.
Yeah.
But the US, I'm not sure they really understand the hazard. There's a really good.
Well, you need it if you're working for utility divisions and you're working in like a substation or something. You have to have all FR rated clothing to wear.
Yeah. Well, I think in Australia, there was a case study, Tim Leach, where he, I guess, was cutting a branch and it was going the wrong way, so he grabbed it, tried to push the other way. I think was the way it worked, and he hit the line, lost his finger, and it went out the side of his foot. So they thought he was, not alive, but and on fire because of the pants. But then he started moaning. So then they had there's a really good case study video on that. But yeah, that hazard the awareness on that hazard in the US doesn't seem to be there at all. Which is so really outside here, at least in New Zealand, Australia, it's sort of a requirement to do that. So that's a big area for us. We're also doing more with wildland firefighting. So we've got the wildfire line as well, which you guys wouldn't run into as much. Though a lot of arborists do work on the wildland fire side as well. So that's something we're working on as well. So that's another big product. So I guess if you think about things people don't know about, probably is the whole FR line stuff.
Gotcha.
Products. Yeah.
So. Also, we went wildly overboard. We sort of figured, well, we make products for the extremes. We do one for the extreme heat. Then we did one for the extreme cold. And basically anything over 45 degrees, you're going to die of swamp ass. These are called the embers because we kept seeing people going, oh, you wear zeros in the summer, and then in the winter you wear some other unmentionable brand. I was like, well, okay, we've got to fix this. Yeah. So we went all in. They got like
might have got carried away.
Yeah. They got like a triple laminate fabric. So outside you got your standard ripstop. In the middle you've got a fully waterproof membrane. And then on the inside they're fleece lined. And they're absolutely unreal. But a friend of ours, Jordan Pollard in Canada, I think he holds the record. He's comfortable wearing them down to minus 30 centigrade without a base layer. And down to minus 40 with a base layer.
No way.
Yeah, but we made them windproof, and the surprising side. This is when you try new things, you don't know quite what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The surprising benefit was they're actually pretty waterproof. So, what Steve Leggett in Vancouver, he said he had dry undies all last winter during, with those atmospheric rivers coming in and everything else, for the first time ever. I think there's a video of him getting mud hosed off him. and still
He's still
coming
dry
out
underneath.
dry underneath.
He was like, his jacket would last about 3 hours in the stupid rain they get there, but his pants stayed dry the entire day.
Yeah. And then I was talking to a guy in Massachusetts, and he said, I was telling him about the embers, and he said, well, my worst day, it's about 32 degrees, raining, and blowing about 20 miles an hour. He basically keeps his truck on for everyone, and when they come down, they get changed in a whole new set of gear before they go back out and get totally freezing. He said these things sound like. So I think even though we made them for the Canadians and the northern US people, it may be that may be the actual use case is
Gotcha.
Which there's a lot of people have to suffer through that in the winter and standing in a bucket in those conditions. So.
Yeah, so because most other PPE companies seem to focus on trying to make the Swiss Army knife of pants. The one pant that will cater for every single condition, and jack of all trades, master of none. Whereas we, like I said, we tend to focus on the extremes. Extreme heat, extreme cold, and then people seem to sort of wear them in the middle as well. And then we've got the denims. Which.
Now
that's the
popular?
hipster crowd.
Have those been?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's
warming up those things.
Now, who came up with that idea?
Oh, that was Lincoln. Well, what happened? He went to the Northwest and saw those jeans with the snap-ins inserts and was horrified. So he thought, I think I might have to try to come up with something to that might make this something vaguely, much safer. So obviously we used our fancy new chainsaw fabric, and the denim's not actually denim; it's a slightly stretched nylon, so super tough. But we made them look like
people
jeans.
like them.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, a certain crowd. So this is another. We are trying to get more people who actually want to wear the gear. That's kind of the point of everything we do. They shouldn't they shouldn't say, oh no, I have to wear a Clogger item. It should be, oh no, I have to wear a Clogger item, but it's the best out there. So I'm pretty happy actually. Still not like wearing yoga pants, but still. That was the point of them was, there's a lot of people that don't want to look like Power Rangers because, when you go to the supermarket and people, you have to sign signatures with the kids and, it's a bit of but it's a lot of time and, you're not paid for that time. The kids love it, but, we've got the two, our non-Power Ranger outfit is the denims in winter and the Defender Pros in summer because the Defender Pros are nice and low key as well. So that's our, and then if you want to be a Power Ranger, we've got Zeros, the Ascends, which are a year-round pant, and then the Embers. So they are, you've got.
So what are you guys wearing today?
Oh, well, we're actually wearing Spiders.
Spiders.
Well, I am. What do you?
I'm Spiders. Yeah. So they're a non-protective, basically competitive tree climbing pant.
Gotcha.
And they are possibly the most outrageously comfortable pants you'll ever find.
Yes.
Really?
They are pretty comfy. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to outfit Phil. I'm feeling like
he's sitting there looking dubious.
There's a lot of doubts, and he's gonna get some zero chaps. He's gonna get some.
I have some zero. Let's talk about
you got
that.
some zeros. You got some
zeros.
zeros. Yeah.
We have the Elevated series
Yes.
that we worked with you guys for months and months and months on to give,
Well, actually, I think you spent a few hours on it, and
yeah, you guys worked months and months about it. I just seen the emails coming.
I know,
back
yeah,
from
exactly.
months.
A lot of design input. No, it was great. No, they came out looking great.
And that was something everybody always wanted is the, especially for a lot of companies out there that black and that red, and that was a combination you guys haven't done before.
No. So I mean, your guys' crew, the Academy guys kicking around at Treetopia, just looked outrageous.
Oh, they
So
love
good.
them.
Yeah.
They love them. I just remember, when as soon as the order came in, they started just leaving, disappearing.
Yeah.
And we had a podcast. I think it was it that Friday, and I think we got the pants on that Friday, and we were on here talking, and who was on the call? I can't remember who we had in here, but Arturo works for Rancho Tree, been in the industry forever. He had a pair, and he pulled them out, and we're like, "What, dude? Where'd you get those?" He's like, "Sam Bailey, man. I just I had my order in. I told him as soon as you get them, you better call me. I'm coming to pick them up." And that was just so cool to see, that he had them on the wait. He had them waiting for him. As soon as they came in, he got them right away because he wanted to be the first one to have them out there. Yeah.
No, they're and obviously the 10% is brilliant.
Yeah.
to go towards the training fund. So I think that's a masterful move, and it's
Absolutely.
a genius. Really, but that was your guys' idea. So thanks for that, because I think I think it came from TCI. Jared going started with just, can you just do red and black, and it turned into something a bit more.
Drew arms and legs. These things do.
Well, it is. You know, we want to be able to give back in some way. There's so many individuals that are out there that wants this type of education and training, and where do I go? There's only so many YouTube videos and Instagram posts that you can watch, and then they have to go out there to attempt it, to try it, to be able to learn, but they can't afford going to the TCI event, or they can't afford to go to one of these classes. So having something like this to partner with you guys and all the other companies that are selling these pants, to be able to have 10% to go back, to be able to give to somebody, to say, hey, you're getting an all expense paid trip to TCIA, hotel, food's taken care of for you, and you guys get to go learn, you know, with some of the greats, you know, in our industry you get to hear from. It's just awesome.
Yeah,
you know, it's awesome.
It was brilliant move, and thanks for that, because that was a huge thing.
I love that, because that ties in with my thought of a rising tide lifts all boats. Like, you know, you're improving the industry as a whole with that.
Yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely. It's the whole industry can get around that and say, hey, I know when I bought these pair of pants, some of it went to go help somebody out, you know. And that's the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to probably work with you guys on some ideas of how do we get this out there. What do they have to do to be able to get this scholarship, you know? And I'm hoping we can get something put together for TCIA or before that, to give somebody an opportunity to go to TCIA or go do some training on the East Coast or West Coast, or come to Treetopia and spend, you know, 2 days in Treetopia or something like that. So how do we reach out to the world to let people know to be able to apply to this little scholarship that we can have, and what do they have to do to win it? And then for us to getting together and voting on who the winner is going to be, and then having them go learn.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we've done. The other thing we did was, which we haven't done for a couple of years with the pandemic and everything, but we do the pink zeros, where we a percentage of that goes to a fund to give pants to people in the first 12 months of their career. So either they've done some sort of training and they're just getting started, but they need the gear. So that was we do need to do that this year, because that's something we do, which is that's a cool thing to get. Though the pink gets confusing about what exactly cause this, but that's I think these sort of things are really, you know, they make a bit of a difference, and make if we can do what we're doing anyway to try to raise some money for some people and make a difference. So,
Exactly. But, that's good. That's good.
So well, I'm exhausted. This has been hard work.
I'm talking.
So what you're saying about getting them to the likes of TCI and et cetera, I mean, that's fantastic from a grassroots perspective. One of the things I'm trying to do, like what I was saying earlier, is improve the levels of communication and collaboration between northern and southern hemispheres. Because currently, from what I can work out, and I've been looking into this for a while, the only time New Zealand and Australia and Canada and the USA have anything to do with each other at a professional level is either at the ITCC or at the ISA meetings. And I strongly believe that both parties have got things to learn from each other. And so I'm poking around trying to get interest to get people from down our neck of the woods to TCI. Just
how are you going about that?
They need to go. I mean, even as from the show perspective, but also I'd like to, in conjunction with that, get trainers over and take them on a tour of the facilities that I've been to around here, because there's possibly a little bit of snobbery in New Zealand and Australia about what goes on over here. But then,
what does New Zealand and Australia think about Americans in the tree care industry?
There's possibly an assumption of general redneckery.
Redneckery? There might be. But
then, I mean, from what I've seen on this trip, like, there is some serious institutions doing some very serious things, and I have not seen training facilities like this anywhere in Australia and New Zealand. Like our actual training may well be the end product, possibly maybe better. I don't know, but I'm extremely impressed with what you guys are doing and what
Appreciate that.
Keith's doing at Northwest JATC and so on and so forth. Like, there's a bunch of really good stuff going on. What Hans is doing with New Jersey Crane, that's really cool stuff. And then I'd love to see the reciprocal of getting a bunch of you guys down under and see how we do things.
I'd love to come out there.
Yeah, so done.
Oh, don't bang the table too loud.
No,
they got crazy there.
That was on purpose. No, in all seriousness, absolutely come down and I will put together a tour for you.
Okay.
We will shunt you around places and things and people.
Maybe we can come down there and get a big. So we do something called our master class, and we've had our master class here in Santa Rosa. The next master class that we're going to be having is in September, and we're going to be partnering up with New Jersey Crane to have it on the East Coast because everybody's been asking.
Right.
And what that is we bring in a rock star in the industry. It's a full day event with vendors, food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, music. Just a one day of people getting together in that area and hearing from these people that they've seen online and follow on Instagram and things like that, and a full educational training day. I would love to maybe set up a master class in New Zealand and have us come there and set something up to be able to teach and train and bring, some of the rednecks, Americans over there, the Yanks, to come on your guys' side of the town and teach some courses down there.
Well, it probably wouldn't take too much persuading to get some of our rock star trainers over here if you wanted them at some of your events.
Yeah. I think that'd be good to come here a totally different side.
And it might help improve the local perception of how because it does bug me. I know there is good stuff that gets done here.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen what goes on. Most Kiwis haven't been over here. They only see what's on Facebook.
What's a Kiwi?
Okay, so that's a general term for a New Zealander.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kiwi.
It's also a national bird. It's like this weird flightless thing with a long beak. It's sort of like a deranged anteater, but really small.
Okay, I better give my New Zealand backstory here. So basically, New Zealand was only birds, no mammals. It was a great place to be a tree, I think. Are birds good for trees? I guess they are. So anyway, so the birds decided, there's a big eagle, that the Haast eagle, which I think was like something huge, 10 feet across, something big, massive, right?
It was like double the size of the next biggest one.
Yeah, and so it was a really dumb idea to be flying around. So they all decided to just go on the ground, and so the Kiwi just stopped flying, just started walking. A lot of the birds did, sort of became the mammals because there was none around. So
okay,
we've got this bunch of flightless parrots kicking around.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the Europeans turned up and thought, well, these forests are way too noisy, and what a waste. Let's import a whole lot of rats and stoats and everything else to make it more entertaining. And obviously, the birds
Goats
didn't
and
do
possums
so well.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the New Zealand ecological story in about 2 minutes. So,
Good.
It is cool though to admit that apparently the noise from the morning chorus with all the birds singing when they first got there was deafening because it was just a ton of birds.
Yeah,
nothing else.
There's literally no predators.
Really?
No.
Yeah. Anyway,
no, that'd be good. I would love to have a couple of your guys' trainers to be able to come out there from Australia or New Zealand to come train a class and a course out here. And vice versa for us to come. And I think by doing things like that, you start connecting the countries and working together.
100%. 100%. I mean, we got a bunch of people over our way who are extremely experienced with helicopter jobs. I mean, I was on site for one the other day where they were doing it with a Black Hawk.
Mm-hmm. Where were you at?
That was in Tauranga, which is about 2 hours south.
Where?
Of Tauranga. It's a city about 2 hours south of Auckland, which is the main...
In New Zealand.
Oh,
yeah. It's
yeah.
yeah.
I'm like,
I didn't see that local. Yeah. I know California pretty well.
I'm like, I thought you were saying Tahoe.
No.
Like, is this the accent? Like Tahoe, because there's a helicopter project going about 3 hours away from Oakland called Tahoe, in Tahoe.
Yeah, and then you're saying Auckland. It was I
Oh,
could see that was getting pretty confusing.
That was getting wild.
Oakland?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like I got an accent. But yeah, that was, I believe, well, from what they could work out, it was the first normal tree job outside of heli logging that had been done with a Black Hawk. and it was wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like 18 massive trees that they couldn't get any heavy equipment to because it was indigenous land and it was sacred.
Yeah.
So you couldn't be any soil disturbance and had to all be chopped out. And they had 3 sets of climbers and 3 different sets of trees, and so they'd take a pick out of one while the next climber was getting the next one ready, and then just shuttle it in and out. And
it's cool. It's on every tree guy's bucket list is doing a helly job.
Yeah. Now this was one for the books that they basically brought in the bulk of the top climbers from around the country, and it was.
Who's the best, hands down, the baddest ass tree person in New Zealand and Australia?
Ooh, this is you're putting.
I don't want to. I don't want to. I just want one name.
Tricky.
That's it.
Well, I mean, the current world champ is Scotty Forrest.
No, I'm saying on who are you putting out there as number one?
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Who is number one?
Oh man,
who's your favorite?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pete's got much love for so many people, though. It's just
one, Pete.
It's like choosing between your children right now. I don't know. It's
okay, Chrissy Spence.
Chrissy?
And well, no, she's retired.
Mm-hmm. Chrissy Spence.
She's ex-world champ woman.
Okay.
I think that's your one, though. I think you've...
No, well, I'm going to take the one back because she is retired. She literally just got burnt out from the industry. Now she works on a dairy farm now.
Okay.
Quite literally. She just turns up to climbing comps occasionally and smashes everyone and goes back to the dairy farm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know.
You got some friends in Australia quite like, don't you?
Yeah, whoever I say, I'm going to get beaten up by a bunch of other people.
Okay. That's okay. They won't hear this for months down the road, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or next week.
Can you delete this bit for Australia? Just like
maybe.
or New Zealand?
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So
you got the name. Just say it. You got it right there in your head.
There's so many. Honestly, there are like
just one. Say the first name that comes to your mind.
I'm going to go with Alana Murray.
Alana Murray.
Alana Murray.
Alana Murray.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's about 5'0", and she rocked a 66.
Awesome.
I first heard of her because she was wearing boots that were 3 sizes too big for her because she couldn't get boots that fit. She was having to wear like 3 to 4 pairs of socks because she's tiny.
Yeah.
And she is just an absolute beast. And because in New Zealand and Australia we do some boots.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's not too much of a stretch to get boots in really small sizes. You just so we just hooked her up with some boots, and it's like that was how I heard of Alana Murray. And then I turned out that she's more or less a national treasure and just a completely wild and crazy person. Someone broke into her house and stole her ute, which you guys call a truck, and she came running out the door and jumped onto the tray and smashed the window.
What'd they steal?
Her truck.
Oh, truck.
Yeah, they call them utes.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
She smashed the window and basically dragged the guy out while he was driving down the road. And she's like this
a beast.
tiny person.
She's a beast.
Yeah. She's just
I'm gonna look her up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look her up.
Yeah, nah, she's golden. And she's gonna hate me for having said that too.
She's gonna have to tell her to go on Two Tree Guys and listen to it because I'll post this here in a minute. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So, you guys, I'm glad you guys came today. Kind of seen the facility. I got to see you. I didn't get to see you at the Treetopia, which was cool. But
because Phil only goes to the after party. Actually, doesn't actually go to
VIP.
So, yeah.
I tried to make it there, man. Some people said that, and I go, look, it is on my schedule right here, 11 o'clock, and I just couldn't get out to come there. Plus, they don't drink throughout the day, and I thought,
what's the point? What's the point?
Yeah, exactly. But I'm excited on the Elevated series working with you guys. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be able to offer some individuals out there some opportunities to be able to train and help out their career and help advance. Years and years down the road, I'm looking forward to that individual that says, hey, I remember when I won this and I was able to go do this, and now look where I'm at. And I think Clogger and the Academy working together to give us that kind of opportunity, because we won't see the fruits of our labor till maybe many years down the road for that. But having you guys back on the show, having Lincoln come here, tell him to come to California, come hang out with us.
Well, he's coming to TCI, so he'll definitely be coming for that trip.
Okay,
so, he's
good.
kind of busy. He's the managing director of the company, plus does all the R&D. So he's,
Not
he's
all the R&D.
Well, not all, no, but I mean, heads up.
You're
the
in
R&D.
trouble.
I know. Sorry, leads the R&D team.
So I'll get to meet him there.
Yeah.
At TCI.
Oh no, I think we could probably do a
Yeah.
flyby.
Yeah.
Drop in on the ranch.
Oh, because you come across this way.
Yeah, exactly. Usually.
We don't generally fly out of LA.
Yeah, and especially for you, one night only, whatever. Yeah, you can build it up for months beforehand.
Okay.
We specialize in just going random places specifically to go and see people.
Good.
I went to Seattle specifically to go and see Guilty of Treason. It was fabulous.
But having you guys come back here, spending some time with us. Of course, we'll have this guy that usually sits to the left of me on the show next time. He definitely has a lot more to add on this.
He's quite angry.
Yeah.
Very angry character. So,
he was mad that he couldn't be here today. He's at a softball tournament for his daughter.
Oh,
down
I know.
in LA.
That wins.
From there. Yeah, I know for that. But before we ever end, any show, you guys being in the industry and being around the individuals that you're around, there's a lot of things you learned, a lot of wisdom that you have to share. And on this show, there's thousands of people that listen to this on a weekly basis. So
we're all in trouble.
You are. You're going to get texts and calls and emails.
Yeah. Oops.
But what kind of wisdom or tips from the top that you can share for each one of you to the people that are listening on the show?
Wisdom.
Some people, I guess you guys have
from
nothing.
somewhere else, right?
Are you looking for like a quote?
No, not a quote.
Just a
Just
thought?
something you can give the people that are listening, driving to work right now, getting off work, whatever. It might be on a Saturday afternoon. They're listening to this right now. What kind of wisdom or nugget or gem that you can share with them about? It doesn't even have to be about this industry. It could just be about life in general.
It's a challenging one.
Respect everyone you meet, because pretty much, I have proved it that everyone I've ever met has been able to teach me something, even if it's what not to do. But everyone, if you look hard enough, will have something to teach you.
That's good.
My only one, I guess, more my life advice. I don't know, but I think it's just from browsing, looking at the industry. A lot of people seem to go. There's a lot of people going through tough times at various times, and I think things, if you get through it, it does get better. I guess that would be the only thing. I think I've had my tough times where I was wondering when the heck this is going to end, But so I'd just say, keep working at it, and hopefully we'll make your life a little bit better with what we're doing. And
Good. It does get better.
Yeah,
it does get better. I always say the sun comes up and the sun will set. You can guarantee that every day, and that's a new day. The day ends and a new day begins.
Got another shot.
Eventually, it gets better. It gets better, for that. But again, guys, I appreciate you guys coming here and spending some time with us and hearing your guys' story, hearing about your product, working closely with us. This just isn't a manufacturer come in and talk to us. I mean, we created a partnership of building this elevated brand, and you guys are the first of many different other manufacturers and companies and vendors that are going to be able to be a part of this. So I appreciate you guys believing in us, believing in the idea, and working so closely on this and doing what you guys do. Appreciate that, from myself and from Jared and also from Bob.
Yep.
He appreciates it. But, till next time, you guys, you're going to come on and we're going to bring Lincoln and we're going to do
you get all
cool
the true, accurate answers.
Tell him he's got to be prepared. Be prepared. I'm going to ask 1,000 questions.
No, be warned, he is a ultra nerd. The day I started at Clogger, he gave me a lecture for 3/4 of an hour on zippers. like solid. It was like every conceivable detail you can think of. It was. I was just sitting in my brain was.
Yeah.
What the heck is this?
Don't get on to chainsaw standards because that would be a few days to stuff.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get them on all that stuff. This might be the longest podcast ever. But, you guys will be on the show again here soon, so I appreciate you guys. But, hey, everybody that's listening, if you liked the show, you loved it, if you got something out of it, just don't give back, share it. Give it out there. And if you guys haven't got a pair of the new elevated pair of chainsaw pants, go to Bailey's, go to Tree Stuff, go to Cheryl. Where else can they go and get this?
We're going to forget someone. Whoops.
RBI, go to Academy, go wherever.
Exactly.
It's everywhere. So go there, buy a pair. We want to see you guys wearing this.
Oh, you get Whisper in there? Yeah, you did say Whisper.
No, I didn't. Whisper has it.
I think we got them covered now.
You guys wear it at the TCI show. Come by our booth. Come visit Clogger out there because 10% of that pair of pants will go to help somebody to get the education and training that they want, but they cannot afford it for that. So,
and you'll look super sick as well. Pretty cool.
And sexy.
How about we do we'll come up with like some joint giveaway that if they turn up at the TCI wearing their Academy pants, we'll have a thing for them.
A drawing they can go and put in for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There'll be thousands of them turning up by then. So,
there you go. Anybody that wears the pair of pants to the TCI show, go to the Clogger booth, and you're going to be able to have a special raffle for that. That's
perhaps
cool.
the greatest raffle ever. Yeah.
Oh, man. You'll get a T-shirt from once you guys find it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we currently have 100 T-shirts roaming the country. We're not quite sure where they are, but
Clogger. See that?
We actually have the T-shirt is missing is the USA version of that.
Oh, so this is the New Zealand version.
Yeah.
Special
Which is
edition.
We dress in black a lot. I don't know.
So do we, as you can see for that. So. Well, that's the end of the show, guys. Appreciate you guys. Go out there, continue to elevate the standard of the industry through safety, training, and innovation. Till next time.
Yeah,
Bye.
advance your guard, baby. Advance your guard.
See you guys. Bye.